Welcome, everyone, to the L7C podcast. The Road to WrestleMania edition continues. Today, we're going to be talking a whole bunch of wrestling, from Elimination Chamber to New Japan to a whole bunch of things that have been going on in the world. We have the wrestling expert, Mr. Jacob Mason, with us. How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah, I am fantastic. We're back on another fun-filled adventure here on the L7C. Gonna talk some Elimination Chamber, Mania shit. It's gonna be a good time.
And we have the captain with us, Mr. Byron Mitchell. How are you doing today, sir?
Oh, I am great. I just love that we're on the road to WrestleMania. It just makes the first couple of months of the year just that much better.
That is true. That is true. It makes the beginning of the year a lot more fun as some sports dwindle down and you're like, oh, what can I watch? Well, you can always go back to some wrestling. So before we get into the Elimination Chamber, we're going to start off with some New Japan. Byron, Mercedes, also known as Sasha Banks, she went in there in her first pay-per-view with them and not only won, but won the title.
Yes, she did. She is now the second ever IWGP Women's Champion. She took that from Kairi Sane. I didn't get to see the match, but on Twitter they were hyping it up as like one of the greatest matches on that card. So I'm just happy that she, left WWE, got to do what she wanted, and now she's IWGP's Women's Champion.
Jacob, what did you think of Mercedes coming in and winning the title? And now when you really look at her like wrestling resume, there are very few who compare to her now.
Yeah, I mean, it's normally I'm against like the brand new person coming in taking the title off someone, but this is a special case considering they sold out I forget which arena it was in San Jose, but they sold that arena out, and the only match that was announced was Sasha versus Kairi Sane. They sold it out on one match.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard not to give that title right off the rip to Sasha, especially when you're New Japan.
Yeah, it was stated here from Bleacher Report, like in terms of like the American audience, this was the biggest women's match in the history of Japanese wrestling. You have a 5-time Raw Women's Champ, 1-time SmackDown Women's Champ, 1-time NXT Champion Mercedes, making her in-ring return against a 1-time NXT Champion Kairi. So people who only follow them but don't really follow New Japan, know them from their WWE thing. Like this match was very successful for New Japan. And if you look at the people who were there, obviously, I mean, Bayley was there. I mean, that's been Sasha's day one for the beginning. Trinity, aka Naomi, was there. Tamina was there. Apparently, Phil Brooks was there. I don't know why you were there. Like, we're still waiting for an apology, but okay. But it's kind of crazy now because if you really look at Mercedes, aka Sasha's, like resume now, like she's won the major championship everywhere she's gone. Like that is wild.
Yeah, she's a big star. I think it was like a interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin years ago where she said, I'm going to be the biggest ever, and she's proven it.
Yeah, and she signed with also United Talent Agency. Jacob, I know you and I, especially for years, we always said that out of the four, Sasha would she'd be the first to explore other options because she's good enough to explore other options.
Yeah, she's good enough and she's certainly popular enough to do it. The best thing that ever happened to her in her professional life was getting on The Mandalorian.
Yes.
That was one of the best things that could have ever happened to her.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, once I remember once we saw her on there, me and you were like, yeah, she's leaving soon.
Yeah, but hey, she's killing it. She's doing good, so
yeah, just
no complaints on my end.
Kudos to her. I mean, eventually maybe she'll be back in WWE, but as her star rises, her asking price rises because who knows where she shows up next.
Yeah. Because on Twitter, she says she is a free agent, that she's not signed with NJPW. So she says she can go wherever she wants to go.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Anything else about this event, more Jacob, that you want to hit on before we go to the chamber?
Well, Jay White is officially out of New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yes, he is. Where's he going?
That's the question. Where does he go? Because he's had shout out to Jay White because on his way out, he put over Hikuleo, which is Tama Tonga's younger brother, put him over, and then put over Eddie Kingston in his last match. That's good shit. Like, he didn't have to put over Hikuleo, but like, he made it feel like that match with him was like, it was a big deal. You had to watch. And you're like, oh shit. And then he lost to Eddie. And you're like, oh shit. All right, well, this is happening. So where's everyone think he's going? Is he going to WWE? Is he going to AEW?
I think
I feel like
I want to say AEW, but then I'm gonna be like, to do what?
Right.
Yeah, I was gonna say I feel like AEW needs him more than WWE does.
That's debatable.
I don't think AEW needs. I don't think so.
I mean, because Byron, how many? Just real quick, Byron, how many like top male stars would you say WWE has?
Maybe around 10.
Jacob, how many do you think?
Top like top dogs who could run the show, hold the main strap. Oh shit. 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. 10 seems like a good number.
And how many do you think AEW has?
Got Kenny. Got
EVP.
Oh god, how many people do we have here? So we got Kenny.
Yep.
We got John Moxley. We got Adam Page.
MJF.
MJF. Yeah, obviously MJF. Daniel Bryan or Brian Danielson. Cesaro. You have Cesaro, but he's Ring of Honoring. He's doing both.
Jericho.
Yeah.
Jericho, of course.
Adam
guys.
Cole.
Yeah, Adam Cole.
Go ahead, Jacob.
I was gonna say, I don't think they have as many top ready to go run the company guys as AEW, but I feel like their mid card status of guys you could elevate, because I mean, you do have Jungle Boy, you do have Darby, you have Eddie Kingston. I mean, you can throw him in that conversation too. You have mid card guys. I feel like there's a lot of mid card guys in AEW that can very easily be elevated to that top spot.
Yeah, because I feel like now going forward, whenever you're deciding where you want to go, it's like the age-old question: what am I going to be doing there? Like,
yep.
Am I going to be fighting for mid-card titles? And if you get to a certain status, I mean, like Jacob said, Jay White's at a certain status where it's like you got to come in and you got to be instantly like in the main picture. He can't be a scrub.
Exactly. And something else that's really like Jay White's already been on AEW a few times. And I feel like it would make more of an impact if he went to WWE. But at the same time, he's not. I feel like the casual WWE fan is not going to know Jay White like the AEW crowd would, who's more the hardcore, knows the business type guys. So, but like I said, if he goes to AEW, what the fuck are they going to do? What are they going to do with Jay White? Because I mean, shit, you have Aleister Black on that fucking roster, and boy, not Dark Order, House of Black ain't got really jack shit going on. They got more shit going on in the indies than they do in their own company.
Yeah, the only time I could see him coming in is like he's after MJF finishes a feud with somebody, he's the instant next contender, like right in there. But then you're like, well, you can't just have this guy beat MJF, so he's going to lose his first feud. And it's like, I don't know. Like, if we had this podcast in 2016, would we be having the same conversation about AJ Styles? Like, about would the normal, casual WWE crowd know AJ? Like, because obviously his biggest stuff was TNA and all that. But when he showed up, he was well received. And obviously, he's already carved a Hall of Fame career in like 6 years. So, so that's what I think. Well, we've had this conversation years ago about AJ.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when he debuted in the Rumble, wasn't that Rumble in Philadelphia?
No, because it was the year after. Because 15 was in Philadelphia. It was 16 that he showed up at number 3.
All right. Because I know the crowd went nuts.
Yes. I'll look that up for you while we Byron, what do you think?
Would we have the same conversation about AJ? I think pre-WWE debut, I think we would have, because, like you said, most of his stuff was in TNA and New Japan Pro Wrestling, and not a lot of the casual WWE fan knew who he was. But then again, when he debuted at number 3, that pop was insane for a guy.
It was in Orlando, Florida.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, whose indie stuff was well known. So maybe Jay White could get the same pop, because it is a new age of wrestling than it was 6-7 years ago.
So real quick, just last thing on Jay White, both you guys. So if he goes to AEW, who would you want his first feud to be with? And if he goes to WWE, who would you want his first feud to be with?
Ooh, that's good. Fuck it. In AEW, I would love to see him feud with Adam Cole.
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
I think Adam Cole would be fun to see. Okay. If he goes to WWE, I want to see him feud with Judgment Day. I want to see him and Finn Balor go do it. Or him and AJ. I want to see Battle of the Bullet Clubs all over again.
Okay. Byron?
AEW, I was going to say Adam Cole too, but then I don't know who would be the babyface in that feud, because they both play excellent heels. So that would be fun to see who they choose to be the babyface. When you said WWE, the first one I thought it was Cody Rhodes.
Okay. So I'll go WWE just because who I think they would do, because this is what they've been doing with him now. I think it'd be Seth.
That would be.
I think it's always going to be Seth now for the foreseeable future. He's their most dependable hand. AEW, because Jacob brought it up earlier, because this would get him back in the forefront. Aleister Black.
That would be a good match too.
But then who do you have win? Because I feel like you're in a lose. I think you're in a lose-lose situation there. Because goddamn, House of Black has had it shitty. And you can't have them fucking lose again and
That's
again.
True.
And only put them on Rampage and don't put them on Dynamite. Cody needs to figure his shit out.
Yeah, I would have to think. Yeah, because you can't have Jay lose the debut match, but then could they put on a match so good both of them win, even though one takes the pin?
Oh, that could definitely happen. But storyline wise, it doesn't make any sense.
You
have to build a really cool story behind it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do that, you also have to bring House of Black back to relevance.
That's true. That's a good point. I'll have to think about that later on. Going to Elimination Chamber, we have another pay-per-view under the Triple H regime, another pay-per-view that breaks all-time gate, merchandise, and viewership records. So that is just the Triple H thing. It's the first time in a while. Like, this was in Montreal. The crowd was rabid. What did you guys think of the environment of the Elimination Chamber and another pay-per-view where they broke all these records?
The Triple H regime is just on fire. I love it. The crowd was hyped, especially during the main event, but they were hyped all throughout the night, and it was just a great environment to be in. I definitely would have loved to have been in that crowd.
Jacob?
Yeah, this crowd was possibly my favorite crowd in a long time. Like, I fucking love this crowd. I love the energy they were bringing. they were a whole nother just part of the entire show from, especially in the men's elimination chamber and in the main event and the post main event shit. Crowd was awesome. We need to have more. We need to get more Montreal, Quebec events happening. If that crowd's going to bring energy every time, I loved it. That was good shit.
Yeah, because I believe Money in the Bank is overseas this year.
It's in England.
Yeah, England. So we'll see how that goes. So just going through this card, the women elimination chamber match started first. I think we all expected Asuka would be in the final two. Was there any other woman you really thought could have won this match?
Liv.
Okay.
Like her performance in that chamber was amazing. That spot she did with Raquel Gonzalez, where she jumped off the top of the cell
Jacob's
and
favorite wrestler.
did a sunset flip powerbomb, was just amazing.
Okay, Jacob.
Yeah, Liv was the only other person you could have possibly seen win this, but everyone else, there was no reason for anyone else to win this.
Yeah, which was weird that even though she went out, that two people put her in submissions and she didn't tap out. It was weird they had Liv out a little bit early because, I mean, when it came down to Carmella and Asuka, it was like, come on, man. That wasn't really. I know Carmella just came back, so you want to put her in a good spot, but come on now.
Yeah, that was weird. But it made her look strong that it took two people to... She didn't even tap out. She passed out, so it made her look strong, but I definitely think she should have been in the final, too.
So then, Asuka wins. Asuka, now we have another match official, so we have 3 matches official now. Asuka versus Bianca Belair at WrestleMania for the women's title. I shared the picture. If you look at Bianca Belair's 3 WrestleMania, 2 she was the challenger. This is her first time coming in as a champ. First Sasha Banks, now Becky, now Asuka. That's a hell of a first 3 WrestleManias. And Bianca all for the title. Like, she's always been for the title since she's won that Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
And those first 2 were bangers, so I know her and Asuka are about to put on another banger in April.
Jacob?
I love it. I'm good with it because we got new Asuka. I'm calling her, and Bianca always puts on a show, so it's gonna be a banger of a match. I don't want to put any predictions because we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We still got a long way to go. We still got a long way to go. Just shout out to Bianca. If she gets there, it'd be a whole year as champ. She's already at 300 something days. Obviously, her title reign is going under the radar days wise because there's someone else on the roster who has had some titles a lot longer than her. But that's crazy that her first 3 matches are. Jacob and I have to look at our list. Arguably 3 of the top 10 greatest women wrestler ever that her first 3 WrestleManias have been against.
Yeah, she's coming up against the best of the best. And she's doing a damn good job.
I like how they swerved us, though, because obviously, especially the L7C, it's been the 4 horsewomen and Asuka. And obviously, like, Bianca's elevated herself to be the top stature. We like how we're going to get you to that final boss of the 4 horsewomen. But first, we're going to have you fight the extra boss DLC. You're going to have to... You got to go take on Asuka at WrestleMania first. Then when you beat her, we might get you to the final boss.
That works.
It works. Yeah. It works. Next match you had on there, Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar. Brock got DQ'd, hit him in the nuts because he couldn't get out of the Hurt Lock. Jacob, what is it about Bobby Lashley that Brock is really like working with him, putting him over?
I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because like face Brock is always kind of fun. Like, he's always been fun. So I think Brock does like putting people over.
Yeah.
And I think if he's committed to something and he's allowed to have fun with it, I think he's just going to do a great job. And just, I don't know how else to phrase it. Like, I just think he's going to do an amazing job at what he does because when he's doing something he likes, you can tell he actually puts in the effort.
Yes.
Tell me he doesn't like something. He's like, man, this is fucking dumb.
Which we may get at WrestleMania if it's true, because who the hell's... someone said Vince has to be back, because who thought Brock Lesnar versus Omos would be a good WrestleMania match if it comes true?
That definitely is something out of Vince McMahon's mind, because we all want Bobby versus Brock at WrestleMania.
I want him in a fight pit.
Right. No DQ fight pit type match. We all want that, but only Vince would think, hey, let's do Omos versus Brock instead.
Well, Jacob,
I don't want that. I don't even want that. I want Brock versus Gunther.
Yeah.
Give me Brock versus Gunther. That's what I fucking want.
Well, they announced today, actually, an hour or so on Twitter, that they're going to be doing a battle royal at Madison Square Garden, and whoever wins that's going to face Gunther at WrestleMania. I don't know. I don't know who would be besides Brock Lesnar. I don't know who else you would put against Gunther in a WrestleMania spot.
Well, we know it ain't DX. Xbox has got shin splints.
I don't know. That's something to ponder who you want to face him. But your guy, Bray, did say he gave a warning out to Bobby and Brock on SmackDown out of the blue.
That's true. He said whoever wins is next. So we'll see.
You got triple threat at Mania? I mean, that's always pretty standard.
Good. I mean, you have Bray beating the hell out of Bobby or Brock. I really it's like, all right, you got to take Bray super serious now.
Yep, that'd be a great way to put him over. Also, Uncle Howdy's just chilling out with him now. What the fuck's up with that?
When do we find out who he is? WrestleMania, SummerSlam?
I don't know. I kind of like the idea of just leaving him in a mask at this point. Just leave the mask on there. I don't even know who it is. I mean, we all pretty much can figure out it's Bo.
Yep.
But yeah, it's fine. Just leave the mask on. Let it ride.
I got you. You had Edge and Beth Phoenix versus the Judgment Day. They call them the Grit Couple. Edge and Beth Phoenix win. Obviously protected the Royal Rumble winner, Rhea Ripley. She did not get pinned. Finn did. Any thoughts on that match?
Man, that's just another fun match. The crowd was behind Edge because he's from Canada. But when they did the Shatter Machine, shout out to the top guys, that was fun. I was like, oh, they're doing tag team moves as a couple now. That's awesome. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was great. Definitely the crowd was yelling "fuck you" Roman chants during that match, which was awesome.
It's kind of crazy how she's gotten older, but Beth Phoenix's presence has gotten like when you see her on the screen, you're like, yeah, that's someone I don't want to mess with. Jacob, what'd you think about your favorite guy, Dominic Mysterio's group against Edge?
Dude, Dom's a fucking man right now. That's my boy right there. I'm so fucking proud of fucking Dom right now. But honestly, I get it was in Canada, but at the same time, I don't think Edge and fucking Beth Phoenix needed to go over. I didn't like the fact they went over. I thought that was dumb.
It's looking like their feud's not over, though. It's looking like we're going to get Edge and Balor at Mania.
Yeah, that's the reason I think they won. So we get Edge and Finn at WrestleMania. And someone on Twitter said if Rhea was to win at WrestleMania, her first feud should be against Beth Phoenix. I was like, interesting.
Is Beth going to want to stay longer, bro? She got kids.
I don't know. I mean, money talks.
Oh, that is well.
She got to feed them babies.
That's true. Then you go to the men's elimination chamber. To me personally, there was a lot of stars made in that match. Specifically, people who, if you didn't know Johnny, you saw Johnny, and a guy we've talked about on here, Montez Ford. Like, there were some star-making moves and performances in that, but Theory won, not without some controversy. Again, Seth Rollins was right there. And we have Jacob's guy, Mr. Paul, Logan Paul, coming in there, hitting Seth, costing him the title. But overall, I do think this match was really good. I think everyone looks strong. Like Bronson Reed was the first person eliminated, but it took everyone's finishing move to take him out. So he's been presented really good. And Seth, like I said, most dependable person in WWE. It's him and Logan, and that's going to be something else. Jacob, what did you think about this men's elimination chamber and the performances that were put on?
So first off, I'm so happy you brought up Bronson Reed. Wait, like you're going out, but like, dude looked like a fucking monster in there. Like you said, it took everyone to get him out. First eliminated, but still looks like a tough motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that's how it should be. Big boy, a lot of meat. Dude's doing his thing.
Yep,
I'm a fan. I also have to say, I love the fucking spot where Johnny and Seth were just chilling on top of the chamber for like 3 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. I was like, that's cool. You know, just two dads chilling out, like just hanging out. Got a couple beers and like, I can just watch that all day. Love that part. Montez Ford's spot where he climbed on top of the cage and like flipped the bat. Dude, I seen that stuff and I'm like, oh God, is he going to like torpedo dive straight down? Like kick off the cage? I was like, oh God, please don't do that. You're going to kill yourself. Like, don't do it. Please don't. Please don't. And then he just belly flopped. And that's fine. We're good with that. Looked cool. Was a fun spot. Everyone gets eliminated. Logan Paul comes out, takes out Seth. Logan Paul's talking shit the whole time. I love it. Give me the match at Mania. It's going to be a good match. I have no doubt. I'm very excited for it. The whole internet wrestling community is going to go on and say, like, God, Logan Paul is so much better than Dominic Mysterio.
Leave the man alone.
Like, Dom's going to get shit for this. I'm okay with that. Dom served a lot of time in jail, so, you know, he lost a little bit of an edge and gained a little, like, shankiness to him. It's all right.
Oh, man. Byron, what'd you think?
Man, I think this was a great match. It might have been my match of the night just because of the insane spots they did. Like you both said, Bronson Reed looked strong, took everyone's finisher to eliminate him, which is what you want to make someone look credible. That was good. Back to Jacob's spot with the two dads chilling on top of the cell. After that, Johnny Gargano does a Hurricane Rana to Seth on a bunch of guys. I thought Johnny was about to die, but he survived. But that spot looked cool. The Montez spot looked cool. And then with just Montez selling is amazing. Like after he took that curb stop from Seth, like the whole crowd thought this dude was injured, but it was just to get Logan Paul in the Elimination Chamber. But he sold that very, very well. He had a star making performance. Like everyone just looked amazing in that match. Austin Theory won, but man, you either got to put a title on Montez or Johnny Gargano soon because they look both impressive.
Both would be very, if they're depending on the others, I would be very interested to see like odds if both of them are in the Money in the Bank because that match screams something both of them could really perform.
Oh, yeah.
Man. Next, we get to the main event. Roman Reigns versus Sami Zayn. Obviously, Roman comes out. Crowd is booing. Sami comes out. Crowd's going crazy. I really had to, when we were watching it, I really had to sit and think, like, this championship atmosphere, like, I think it's up there for me personally as one of the best atmospheres that I've seen in like recent, like the two that always will be my top two is Cena, Rob Van Dam, One Night Stand. I don't think anyone beats that crowd. I really do not. Like that crowd was so good. If I was there and Cena threw the shirt at me, I would have threw it back. Everyone knows what type of Cena stan I am. I would have thrown it back because I would have been hyped in the emotions. And obviously Money in the Bank, Cena Punk, 2011, when I think of like crowds and then seeing Sami get the ovation he got and I even just entering, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be a big match. What'd you guys think of like just the entrances?
Man, chills. Just like the crowd reaction. It also makes me think of that Drew entrance at Clash of the Castle. because that crowd was raucous and behind him. So it had that big fight feel to it just off the entrances alone, which just made the match even that much better.
Jacob, from the sports aspect of it, when you have a wrestling crowd that is into it, that's one of the best environment in sports, don't you think?
100%. There is nothing better than a crowd of wrestling fans that are up and at it and are wild and are just so into the match and so into the event. There is not a better feeling. It's especially when you can experience that. I mean, I've never experienced a crowd that nuts. God, that'd be amazing.
I don't know if I'd be here. I'd be too into it.
Right? Now, like the one thing, like me and you always say, Martin, we hate when the champion comes out first.
Correct.
Absolutely hate that. I love the fact that Corey Graves made a mention of that. I believe it was him or Michael. I forget which one it was. One of the commentators said this. Roman's out here so Sammy can see the absolute man the god he has to deal with when he comes down to the ring or something along those lines. That
was a really good spin on it.
That was a nice nod of doing that. And way to acknowledge, no pun intended, but way to acknowledge that. And okay, you've sold me on it. I'm fine with that. And let's be real, the Sammy coming out, that pop was nuts, absolutely nuts. And you know how like special that, like I felt for Sammy. I felt like so much joy for that guy because you can tell, like, yeah, he, I'm sure his WWE run hasn't been what he thought it was going to be, from start to where it's at right now. But all the shit he's been through, man, like he's main eventing a premium live event, and the crowd is the dude. The guys just stood there for 5 minutes.
Yes.
Not to get out the entrance, but the dude just stood there for 5 minutes, and that crowd did not stop the energy.
Yeah. It's kind of crazy too how it's almost like a player coach thing, because after the match, I know I'm skipping way ahead, but we're going to come back to it. But like after the match, you see the pictures of like Sammy hugging Triple H and like when Triple H is in control, he knows how to fully harness Sami Zayn. Vince never got it.
Yeah, NXT days, like being under Triple H's tutelage, like he had great matches, and NXT then gets
he was the guy.
He was the guy, yeah. Great match with Shinsuke Nakamura, his call-up match to WWE, the main stage, but Vince just never knew how to use him right. So I'm glad that Triple H is back in charge and we can get NXT Sammy back.
Yeah, because Jacob, you brought up a great point. Besides his NXT run and now this bloodline stuff, most of Sammy's main roster thing has been subpar. Maybe at best. Like the biggest thing people remember was his debut during the US Open Challenge, where we're all like,
he got injured during that.
He got injured, still performed. Cena like still lost, but put him over as like we're like, oh, this is it. And then obviously just surrealed, and now we have the bloodline. So
yeah, his storyline, like his run, literally from the moment he got injured, it went to shit. I'll just go ahead and say it. And for all the big indie fans out there, the people who've seen, he resembles a lot of El Generico. You guys know who he is, but they really have a lot of similarities, you could say. And if you know El Generico, you know what he can do, and it's awesome to finally see Sammy come all the way around. Then started from the bottom, now we're here. It's good to see. It makes me happy.
And when you even look at Sammy, obviously he's in shape, but he like the Daniel Bryan type effect. He's a normal guy. Like he's not like the souped up, muscle bound people like a Roman, like a Lesnar, like a Lashley. Like you compare Sammy to them, he's a normal dude. And like Jacob said, when you see another normal dude have to scratch and claw all the way back, you connect with the guy. So, and then the match wise, it was a good match, but I think personally the in-ring psychology was the best part. Like, I never knew what Sami Zayn's wife looked like. I don't even know if that was his real wife. It might not have been. But, but when they had her there and Roman talking shit to his wife, like, and then Sami giving a kiss to her, like, the in-ring psychology, man, was just out of this world.
Yeah, they worked very well together. It was a good match. But that, like you said, the in-ring psychology was amazing. Like, as soon as Sami kissed his wife, like, the crowd just went wild for it.
It was very Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania vibes. But yeah, the match wasn't, a 5-star, 10-star match.
Right.
But God, it was such a good match, though.
Yeah. I was at the edge, man. I was at the edge of my seat, like, watching. I never thought the result would be in doubt, but I was just sitting like, man, this is, as Jacob has quoted on this podcast, this is good shit. Like, I'm like, oh, this is really good shit. You even have the parts too where the refs are down and obviously like all that stuff and pinning each other, kicking out. The near falls were perfect. And then you have the parts too where, like, when it's over, Jimmy coming, attacking, all that. And then you have when Jay comes, because Roman's about to hit him with the chair. Jay comes. You have the same situation. Roman gives Jay the chair to hit Sami. Jay doesn't. He leaves. Like, we still don't know what's going on with Jay.
He thought about hitting Roman for a
he did. But Roman turned
like 30 seconds.
He turned quick compared to Royal Rumble because he was like, just in case, let me turn real quick.
Right. Yeah, Jay thought about it, and then Roman got into his face, and I think either Jimmy accidentally kicked Jay or somehow
Sami tried to spear Roman and he speared
Jay instead. Yeah. So that's going to be a thing whenever they come face to face, and then you have another Canada's favorite son, KO, coming out to save Sami, but he was actually doing it for himself because he still has beef with the bloodline. It was just
as he should.
Great. Yeah,
like, it's hard to, like, they're doing real life stuff in these stories. Like, how quickly are you going to forgive someone who helped torment you for all these months and all of that? Jacob, what did you think about, like, the Uso stuff, like the Jay stuff, Kevin coming out after? Because this is the first time we've seen Kevin after Roman almost tried to kill him, like, at the Royal Rumble.
I'm loving it. The way they're doing the storyline is really, really, really fucking thought out, and it's been done super well. It's great. I do kind of find it funny with Kevin, though. The following night, seems like, oh man, I want you to help me take down the bloodline. And it's like, dude, we all know how Kevin Owens works with tag teams. He always fucks everyone over. I love Kevin Owens. I would never want him as a tag team partner.
Yep.
Fuck that. But at the same time, I totally want to see. I love the tease. I loved how they redid the Rumble thing, like you guys talked about with the chair. Something was Jay. I love that. That's good shit. And man, there's not too much. There's literally nothing I can really complain about. This is goddamn chef's kiss, fucking beautiful.
Well, we also forgot to talk about the Paul Heyman spot and him getting in the ring and being trying to beat up Kevin Owens. I was like, bro, that's not gonna go well for you.
Oh my gosh, that was Paul actually Heyman. My favorite part of that was when Paul Heyman's over there like, no, I really like you. I don't like Roman. I really like you. Paul Heyman just knows how to, like, just work his shit and just act like a slimeball manager. God, he's the fucking best at that.
Yes, 100%. Roman Reigns does win. Now we're in territory I don't think I ever thought I'd see in my adult life. Roman is 900 plus days as the Universal champ of that part. So by the time he gets to WrestleMania, it's going to be 930, 940-ish.
Yeah, I think 942 would be like the official number. Depends on which night he goes.
Yeah. Oh, we know what night.
Yeah, second night. True.
But now it's set. So now it's Roman. It's officially now Roman, Cody, Universal World Heavyweight Championship. And even the way they're building this feud, Cody and Roman haven't even had a face-to-face yet because Roman's dealing with the Kevin Sam thing. Wait till we get that face-to-face.
Yeah, the face-to-face between Cody and Paul Heyman have been amazing. They've been telling their story without Roman, which has been great. Paul Heyman is Paul Heyman, so he just does wonderful things, like on the Raw, where he's talking about, oh, don't you want to stay home with your wife and your kids? Like, oh, you know, you thought I'm gonna say something foul. I was like, how if you win the championship, Roman will keep your wife warm at night. But Roman's a happily married man. I'm not. I was like, oh, Paul, what the hell?
That is true. And then to Jacob, because when we actually talk about for champions, like the real shit about it, Paul did say the real shit, Jacob, about like, hey, if you're champ, it's not just the performance in the ring. You're providing almost everyone's paycheck with the gates and all of that and all that stuff. So, Jacob, how'd you feel about Paul being like legit? That's what the champ does.
I liked it. Bring that realism to it, boys. I fucking love it. You know, I'm all about it. Let it ride. Paul Heyman knows what he's doing. Once again, he don't need notes. He knows what he's doing. With
his neck brace on that he had from Saturday. I was like, geez. I do like how when he talks, I'm like, damn, Roman just randomly just gives you these belts to just walk around with. Like,
right.
I'm like, all right, man. But so far, WrestleMania, confirmed. We got Rhea and Charlotte. Rhea's going to have a face-to-face with her this Friday. We got Cody Roman. We got Bianca Asuka. 3 hell matches that are going to be nuts. I don't know who's going to main event night 1.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Rock.
Oh, come on. I mean, he's not Rock, but I can make the case because he is coming back March 6th. I can make the case they do Cena Theory, and that's the main event of night 1 because it's John Cena. I can make the case.
I honestly think you have to have Rhea fucking.
I do. Well, if she wins.
True.
I can't have her main event, then she loses again, dude. Nah, I can't. If we're going to do it, we got to do it.
Would be a great opener for night 1.
Yeah.
Start off, Cena's music coming out.
That's true.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's weird because we already know. I'm already saying Cena's going to lose because he's not going to win the U.S. title from Austin Theory.
Right.
Yeah. I think he would put Theory over.
He will. I mean, he has nothing. Like, obviously, when he shows up, the revenue and all that stuff just goes through the roof. He has nothing to prove.
Right.
So, unless he comes back for like what Edge is doing, like a quasi full-time run, but he's in too much shit.
Yeah.
So, but that match will be confirmed soon. Seth and Logan's going to be confirmed soon. Gunter and someone else is going to be confirmed soon. We're already going to say Kevin and Sammy versus the Usos for the titles are going to be confirmed soon. Like, once we really start getting these things confirmed, and a Finn Edge, if it's really Brood Edge versus Demon Balor, I don't know where the hell you put that on the card.
Fuck, that'd be sick.
Night 2, I would assume.
Well, you want night 2 to be good because you hate night 2.
Well, that would be a good match.
I agree, but night 2's been ass.
I know. I know these things.
Like, these are also we're having feeling like they're coming, but there's a lot of matches. Like, when this card's fully booked, I cannot wait until we do the preview episode because there's a lot that could swing different ways. Like, are we going to be for the first time on this podcast since we've been created saying Roman is going to lose a pay-per-view match? That's for thing, but will this podcast say it for the first time since its creation?
I don't know, because if Roman hypothetically, if Roman wins, He's going on to 1,000+ days.
100%.
So, and honestly, because a year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I would have never said these words out of my mouth. But God, Roman's been a fucking phenomenal champion.
Yes, he has.
He's been the best full-time part-timer I've ever fucking seen.
Well, he invented it.
Dude, he knows what he's doing. Like, I'm tuned in. I got to see what's happening. Like, part of me is like, you know what? Good for you, Roman. Get the 1,000. Fuck it. Get the 1,000, dude. Go do your thing. But the other time, I'm like, man, fuck that. Cody, go get the porn.
Like Cody said, man, he's got to finish the job.
Finish the story.
But Roman's not going to let some dude come out the blue and take him out.
It's going to be a really good match. I can't wait.
And also, I mean, WWE is using the those stuff like the animated whatever stuff for the intros for WrestleMania. Those graphics. It's great to have those back.
They should have never went away.
Well, I don't know what to tell you there. But like just looking at Roman Reigns' title defenses, like the people he's beaten, this is his whole pay-per-view, like all his title defenses. So bear with me. Jey Uso, Braun Strowman, Jey Uso, Kevin Owens 3 straight times, Daniel Bryan twice in a row, then Daniel and Edge, Daniel Bryan against Cesaro, Rey Mysterio, Edge, John Cena, Finn Balor Demon, Brock Lesnar, Sami Zayn on SmackDown, Seth Rollins, the Royal Rumble, Goldberg, Brock, Riddle, Brock, Drew, Logan, Kevin, Sammy. Those are all of his title defenses since becoming, and it all started his first title defense, Clash of Champions, Jey Uso, 2020.
That was a good match. All his matches have been great. Like
all the title
him
defenses,
turning heel was the best thing for his career.
Oh yeah, like even just looking, he's like, some matches may be better than the others, but there's no real bad match. I even forgot looking at this thing that Cesaro in 2021. We thought that was good. We were like, oh, Cesaro's got a new contract. Surely he's gonna. Nope.
Nope.
They played us.
Like it's been crazy. So we'll see what he does. But just some quick things. Obviously, just going back to Asuka. Asuka's the first and only woman to have won Money in the Bank, Royal Rumble, and the Elimination Chamber. The only other woman who's close is Bayley. She has never won Royal Rumble. Jacob shared Chris Jericho's filing a trademark for Jericho. So that is really cool on that. On a more serious note, the Briscoe children appear to be out of the hospital but on the road to full recovery. So that is really good. Our L7C goes out to the family and all that stuff. We joke about her, but it was the anniversary of that little, build your own women's thing with the money. 6 Royal Rumble matches. There's been 4 women who've been in all of them. Liv, Dana, Natalya, and Tamina. What about I shared this thing too, real quick. Undertaker talking about, because he's allowed to do stuff now. He's like, the fan base in general, they're more concerned about what's happening behind the scenes, not what's going on in the ring. They want the dirt, like everything else in our society. It's all social media driven. How do you guys feel about Taker? Obviously, this is the GOAT, and anytime he speaks, everyone listens.
Yeah.
And he did say some stuff like he hates like when people break kayfabe on social media. Obviously, we just talked about Cody. When Cody was Stardust, he was Stardust full time.
Mm-hmm.
And like, there's some people who still do that stuff. But how do you guys feel about, like, one, it's weird having Taker do interviews, but how did you guys feel with like Taker's comments?
First off, I love Taker's interviews because that man is a plethora of information.
Mm-hmm.
And but no, he's 100% completely right. Yeah, it's social media driven. I mean, look at us. We're doing a podcast and we're all going to be posting it on social media.
Yeah.
And if one of us doesn't, someone will call them out on the group chat and be like, "Hey."
But I was saying with us, we care
guy
about the ring shit though. We actually care like if your match is ass.
Yeah.
But like he's not. No, he's completely right, and that's just the nature of the beast.
Yeah.
But if you get over in this era, you're over as fuck.
Yes.
Agreed. If you can make something believable, you're over. Tommaso Ciampa is the best example of that because, good God, nuclear heat out the ass in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Easiest thing I can think of right there. Fuck everyone.
I miss him, man. Woo. Can I imagine if Cody does do it? Can you imagine him versus a heel Ciampa for like one of his first feuds?
Ooh,
don't make it one.
That'll be really good.
Just make it towards the end of a feud. Make it towards the end. I want to see Ciampa come back and lose. I want to see Ciampa come back and be an absolute killer.
Yeah. Byron, what do you think?
I mean, I agree. Definitely 100% social media based. It's just the nature of beast, like Jacob said. Like the world is changing, where more and more social media apps are readily available to the fans, and of course, the wrestlers, have their own outside personal life. So of course, they're going to post it on social media. So I get what he's saying. Kayfabe is not 100% dead, but it's going that way.
Yeah. And I also like real quick too, just looking through because man, we share a lot of wrestling stuff within a month. But I like how Seth Rollins, he was doing interviews, and when they talk about Mount Rushmore, I like how Seth divided it. Like he's like the Mount Rushmore of drawing money are these four people. The Mount Rushmore of technical in-ring wrestling are these four people. I like how he did that because wrestling at Mount Rushmore is hard. Like putting only four, but I really like how Seth did it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that's a really good way of doing the Mount Rushmore because there's so many different aspects of wrestling. It's just hard to lump like a Mount Rushmore of people who cover all of those aspects. So I like the way he did it.
Jacob?
Yeah, I like that. I am a fan, but at the same time, like you're still going to have your who's the fucking Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
you're still going to have that, and it's still always going to be extremely debated. And no one's ever going to 100% completely agree with you. It's never going to happen. It never will.
Yep.
And I kind of like it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I agree. Jacob, back to you because this was shared on the 15th. Man, what the heck? We need to one day really get the full rundown of what the hell Thunder Rosa was doing when she was champ backstage. Because God, that I know we talked about it a long time ago if the heat was real or not, but this shit was real.
Shit was very real. I don't know, and I'm kind of shocked it hasn't completely come out what all she fucking did. Because AEW is way more freed up on like what they say and what they do. You know, so I'm kind of
we
shocked.
were cheered for her to win the title when she first did. We're like, all right, it's time to beat Britt.
Yeah, and well, that didn't work out too well.
It's okay. Then the title went to Tony, and then they had real beef, and they're like, "Yeah, Tony, you're not in anymore. You're not Tony. Time to take it off you."
Yeah, fucking that was the worst title reign ever.
That was
I don't know. Was it worse than fucking? Legitimately, when you think about it, what was worse, Thunder Rosa's title reign or Tony Storm's title reign?
Well, the thing with Thunder, we didn't know it was really that bad till the end, like backstage. At least she was. But then there was times there's like, dude, you're the champ. Why are you on at 8 p.m.? And why is Britt Baker closing the show?
True.
Great question. I ain't got the answers, but boy, fucking Tony Khan has been getting it just absolutely fucking beaten down recently.
Yeah, he's going against your guy now. What the hell is going on with that?
My guy. Which guy?
MMA guy.
Oh, Ariel?
Yeah, Ariel. Yeah. Like out of all people, Ariel?
Well, so what? I never actually watched the interview. I just seen like
Neither
all
did I.
It was basically Ariel was asking him questions and like Tony Khan just kept dancing around all of them, be like, "Oh yeah, we're like AEW. Watch us on like TNT."
Tony called Ariel a fraud because Ariel was live at the SmackDown this Friday before not Money in the Bank, I'm sorry, Elimination Chamber. And then like Ariel is there tweeting saying, "Thanks for watching, old friend. Can't wait for our next chat. Also, don't listen. You're a legend in my book." Tony Khan says, "Good luck with the unbiased journalism." So like taking a dig at Ariel saying he's not a journalist. And then,
so did he say he's not a journalist because he went to a WWE show? Because wouldn't that make him more unbiased if he's taking in both wrestling products? That's where I'm confused at.
it's weird because Ariel's talking about it on his show, so it's real.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jacob.
Yeah, it all stems off of the initial interview that Tony had with Ariel on his show. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure if Tony got butthurt or what the fuck happened, but someone got fucking pissy. And I think Ariel called him out like, yeah, like you didn't answer like really any of the fucking questions.
Yes. Yeah, that was bad.
And Tony got pissy about Ariel got pissy, and then Tony got pissy because Ariel was pissy.
Mm-hmm.
And then WWE just threw some gasoline on the fire with Michael Cole, which
he did.
Hilarious. Like the most unbiased, wonderful journalist, Ariel Helwani over here. And I'm like,
hey, they got Ariel to do the voiceover for Sammy's thing. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, and he's very successful in what he does. And like, he does the stuff for Bleacher Report where he's doing like those real in-depth interviews with wrestlers and all that, which I do enjoy. Like Jacob said, anytime you can get the real insight, it's really good. But Tony, I think Tony is always bored when he's not in a feud. If he's not in a feud or his company's on fire, going to hell, he's bored.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like fucking Tony is like very fucking ego fragile.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dude, like I don't think he can take constructive criticism that fucking well. At least that's just how it shows from like outside in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe he's just the fucking most swell guy ever, and he's a fucking genius. I don't know. He has more money than me.
That is
so
true.
Obviously, he's doing something better.
I mean, Byron shared that thing where Tony's like, "Yeah, we have all these AEW wrestlers coming up to me saying WWE trying to get them to breach their contract and come. Yeah, we're at war with them." I was like, I thought we were done with that.
I don't know, dude. I feel like Jacob said, Tony is so butthurt when he gets constructive criticism that he has to take a dig at everyone around him. Like, bro, just fix your company, dude. That's all people want.
And the people are doing fine. It's just me with Tony, with all the stuff he said before, I was like, all right, whatever. The thing that really brought it to me is how he handled the Punk situation. That was terrible. Like, that was really, really bad. And ever since then, everyone's like, does he really know what he's doing? Like, and obviously, like, Cody was on Ariel's show talking about, like, hey, when you heard about the situation, what did you think? And he's like, it hurt me, man, because that's not the stuff that we built over there.
He said that wasn't our angle or like our vision. So like when Punk did his stuff, it just hurt him because it wasn't a part of the original AEW vision. I was like, damn.
And I mean, I'll always hate that situation because we didn't get Punk MJF for the title. Like that's to this day.
Still pissed.
Still pissed. We'll always still be pissed. And
yeah.
And people say, like, oh, maybe he should come back. I was like, and do what?
I mean, like he said, he's old, tired, and he works with fucking children.
I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it makes me laugh of the meme of CM Punk, like when he first came to AEW, he goes, if I had this locker room when I first started, I'd be so much farther in my career. I'd be so lucky to have these people when I first started. 3 months into your job, man, fuck these people, and I work with children.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe Adam Page was the one who, like, he's the one who really set Punk off, and then the EVP stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dude. The fact Tony didn't just fucking cut that shit right off.
Yes.
He was looking lost.
I almost said it back in the podcast when we covered this shit. God, I would have killed to see Vince McMahon in that situation if he was in Tony's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
Vince would be like, nah, fuck this.
I mean,
cut the air. We're done here.
Well, we have a quieter period post WrestleMania, man. There might be one time on the podcast we rewatch the thing all together and say what we would have done at certain points.
Oh, that would be great.
Dude, that'd be a good get together live
Mm-hmm.
fun.
My God, help us. Byron, the L7C zone, Bianca Belair stated that Bayley is the most underrated of the 4 horsewomen. She does not get the credit she deserves. How do you feel about that?
I agree. Like, people usually talk about Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte, but they really don't mention Bayley like in the top conversations. So I agree with Bianca.
Jacob?
I'd agree with that statement. I mean, I'd agree with that.
Bayley's in a weird. It's interesting too because, like, obviously since Becky became the man, I always felt like Becky and Bayley were in the same situation. Mm-hmm. Neither of them are as athletic as Charlotte. That's just no.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of them have like the in-ring stuff like Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like just both like in the middle. Obviously, Bayley had like the huggers and all of that, and Becky was the last kicker until they both went a whole different thing with the man. And when Bayley turned heel, it made them both like really stick out. Because I remember when Bayley and Becky were having that like their little feud a couple weeks ago, and they're basically having a pissing contest. Were you a Grand Slam champ? Oh, did you main event WrestleMania? Did you win the Royal Rumble? Did you win Money in the Bank? And then you're sitting here like, God damn, both of these people have actually done a lot of shit.
Yeah.
So it's weird because, like, especially at the beginning of when they first came, because the only two who were wrestling winning was Charlotte and Sasha. They were trading the title literally back and forth.
Like every other week, it pissed me off. Like, dude, just pick someone to carry the championship.
It'd be weird. Sasha would win it on Raw, then lose it on the pay-per-view.
Right.
But
Beth Maxes and Sasha losing the title.
Yeah, I mean, that was a thing. That was a thing. We'll see if it continues in New Japan. Jacob, I don't know if you know this, but Byron, you do know this. Byron agreed with Charlotte Flair for once.
I did, because she finally spoke some truth.
She does not want the titles to be unified because that would give less opportunities to the other women on the card, which is agreed. But, you could have said this back then when they're like, hey, we want you to beat Asuka for no reason and then lose them both to Becky. But it's okay. You learn when you get older.
That is true. She's more mature now.
Yeah, you're more mature now. So you learn when you get older. And just last thing too, for Black History Month, obviously you got Athena, aka Ember Moon, Ring of Honor champ, obviously Mercedes, IWGP champ, Jade TBS champ, and Bianca Raw Women's champ. So you got 4 African American women holding it down. So shout outs to them. But guys, next time we're back, is it WrestleMania preview episode?
Unless something big happens between now and then, yeah, the next episode will be the WrestleMania preview, where we officially get matches and talk about what's going down at the biggest show of shows.
Jacob, man, how do you feel about that? That the next pod is the WrestleMania preview.
I feel weird about it. Like, I genuinely do. Like, because I feel like, dude, we gotta get like 6 more podcasts out before Mania.
Yeah, I know.
Like, dude, we had to get so much time. It's like, wait, what else is there? Like,
I think we come back and
preview.
What if we find out Stone Cold's gonna wrestle again? Gotta come back before.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Stone Cold's coming back. That'd be great.
That is a rumor.
I don't see it happening.
I don't either. I think the Kevin thing that's where it's done, but I don't know. Jacob, your favorite football league XFL started though. Do you know your guy The Rock was at every game?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
crazy. Like I always say, he can go to anything but WWE.
I mean, he's hosting the Grammys, which would have been night 2 of WrestleMania. You can't tell me you couldn't have done night fucking 1. Piece of shit.
Jacob, I told you, when he didn't show up for his 25th Summer Survivor Series anniversary, that man was not showing up at WrestleMania.
You know what? I think Justin might have called it out the best.
He doesn't care.
I had a 2-year prediction. It might have been a shitty prediction, but damn it, I was holding on to it.
That's true. That's true.
So, listen, it's like, hey, man, you keep losing at blackjack. Fuck, you just got to keep playing. Eventually, you're going to win something. Like, we're just keep going. Keep going.
True.
So, that's what it is.
That's true. That's true. It's just it always just cracks me up that he's literally everywhere but the company that got him this start. Especially on XFL. It's like, dude, so you're flying every game the whole weekend, talking at every game with your number 54 jersey, where they canceled that whole bloodline. I know in my heart they canceled that segment because Rock said I ain't coming.
Yep, 100%. That was pretty much a nail in the coffin.
Like, I know in my heart they were hyped. They're like, every member of the dynasty is gonna be there. We were like, this is it, Dwayne. Nope, it changed to the trial of Sami Zayn. It's crazy. But besides, all right. Anything else, guys, before we close?
I can't think of
anything. Fucking next one's WrestleMania preview. How about that?
Yeah, we're gonna. It's gonna be interesting once we have this full card. But with that being said, thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Make sure you like, rate, comment, subscribe. We're on the road to some new milestones in the L7C. We're gonna need your guys' help to get there. So please listen, tell your friends about us, tell your coworkers if they're into wrestling. I mean, these are, I can always say our WrestleMania road to WrestleMania podcasts are always some of the best ones we do. So be on the lookout for the WrestleMania preview. I'm sure we're all going to not pick the same people to win. And we're all going to have different reasons, but that's why it's great. Thank you everyone for listening to the L7C podcast. Signing out. Thank you for listening to this episode of the L7C podcast. Be sure to like, rate, review, and subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all social media platforms, and we'll be talking to you guys soon. Take care.